Thank you so much for giving me. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity here today to present the activities in Austin and the state of the market to everyone. So I would like to get started with a little bit on the current market right now. As you know, the mortgage rate had reached about 21 years high and on across all of the state and all of city, which has like direct effect to our median sale price. And we also see the increasing in day on the market for Austin property because we used to be the market with 3 weeks of inventory, and now it's moved up to 3.5 to mostly 4 months day average day on the market. I mean, if you look into the general market, it's still a really okay numbers because usually the balance market usually have like 6 months of inventory. But this is shows something about the balance out right now, like Austin going through a resilient state with consolidations between the buyer and the seller. But our market is very still stabilized, and we still see a lot of properties and activities going on. And so by August of this year, we see the buyers start to get used to the high interest rate, and they actually get out of the nest and start to shopping around the market again. Sorry, okay. So if you look into, this is the July statistic that I have put together for everyone. The median price for Austin MSA in general dropped by 10%. And also, like I say, the average day on the market go up from used to be like 3 weeks, now it's like almost 2 months. However, if we look into the total increase, sorry, I'm just trying to. If we look into the total value of the property increase in 2019 up to now, Austin general is still increased roughly about 68% in value from 2019, like pre-COVID until now. So the market is just find a way to balance and a rest point to balance. And we're moving from there. And this is the chart that we also put together from Freddie Mac. You can see other market, they gain between 35% to 45% in appreciation, but Austin market itself is like significantly gain about 68%. So this is just a time that is balancing out, and it just like rests a little bit on the hype during the 2021 and find a point to rest and balance out the market.
Penny, I think you are muted.
So, okay, I think my computer is froze on me. Just 1 second. Okay, so this is the map that we put together and showing the investor from out of stage purchasing the property here. If you look into the period of time from 2021 to 22, we have quite a lot of investors that buying in the Austin MSA area. However, after the interest rate going up, and then from July 2022 until now, the purchasing power of investor kind of like reduced a little bit. We still have investor from out of town, from New York, from California buying in Austin, but it's not significantly as in 2 years ago. So right now, majority of the buyer on the market are owner occupied. So with what I say with the owner occupy, and right now the median's family income in Austin is about $122,000. The median price that people able to afford with the high interest rate is about $300,000 to $400,000 homes. So, but again, there's not so many property like that for sale on the market in the area that around Austin MSA. So that's why people still kind of like they try to find a lot of good deals from the builder right now. Like they would like to see some of the flex cash options. They want to see like what incentive the builder give out to them. And some of the builder are very aggressive right now in terms of like helping the new buyer to buy the property. They give some, like some of the builder, they give almost 6% of closing costs so that the buyer can buy down the interest rate or can do for upgrade or something. And some builder even give the buyer the option to fix the interest rate up to 9 months in terms of the federal increase the interest rate anytime during the home to be constructed. And some builder, they even give the buyer the option to refinance for free in the next 24 months if the interest rate drop. So right now we see a lot of tones from the builder that encourage people to buy. But again, the pricing in Austin has not been dropped to the pre-COVID yet. It's still about 55%, 45 to 55% higher than the pricing in May of 2019. So for the resale home on the market, we having like competition between the builder and also the resale home on the market. So the buyer basically right now they have more choices compared to last year. And buyer actually getting a little bit more picky when they actually look into the house with more feature, more upgrade. Especially for resale home, they want to say that okay, at least premium flooring or some cabinet or some of like outdoor patio in terms of just a basic package compared to last year. So now we talk a little bit about the rental market because Austin, as you know, we have been booming a lot since 2021 with a lot of tech company moving to Austin. Follow the boom, we have quite a lot of new developments on multifamily. So by the end of 2023 and early of 2024, we expect that it's gonna be about 41 to 52,000 units apartment gonna be on the market. And that will actually create a little bit competitions on this single family home, even though we are not direct competitor, like single family home is not really direct competitor with multi-family apartment, because a lot of people, they still refer to have the nice home with more privacy in the yard. But the supply on the apartment building is also one thing that may create a pressure for the single family homes. And you see back then in 2010 and 14, we have apartment just focused along the I-35 corridor and some of like the major the cities like Austin and also like the central Austin. But now we have apartment on over some of like the outskirts city. Like we even have apartment building right now under construction in Pastra or maybe further east of Austin or further southwest of Austin and southeast of Austin. So with all of this construction going on, the single family homes gonna have a little bit competitions from the supply of apartment, because usually apartment they're gonna give about 1 or 2 months free rent with some incentive to move in. But in long terms, we see this already happened back then in 2013. But in long terms, people still refer single family home as the primary rental if the pricing makes sense for them. And another thing that I want to point out right now, the Austin vacancy, we still pretty okay with the vacancy for now compared to 4 major cities in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. And our vacancy rate expect to increase a little bit more in 2023 and 24, given the fact that right now we have about more apartment building coming and also like there are about 11 subdivisions that are gonna go next year. and next 2 years on the market for single family home. But those subdivision gonna be in Elgins, in Bastrop. But it's still gonna diverse a little bit on the total demand for single family homes. That's why we may expect a little bit on increasing on the vacancy. Another side from Austin is like so that is beside from the real estate. On the job market of Austin, we're still very confident about the job market of Austin because we still have quite a lot of non-farm employment role in Austin Round Rock MSA in the past years. And actually, the city of Austin, together with the state of Texas, they are working on the plan called Opportunities 5.0 for the next 5 years. So this is the current Austin job creation in 2023. This is just something that we put together as of August of 2023. We have not got all of the data from other deal that under negotiation with the city right now. But the city of Austin, the state of Texas, and also other city, they join forces with each other and try to create the Opportunity 5.0 to attract another 10,000 jobs by 2028. So right now with Austin, Tesla is still one of our best that providing the most job as of August of 2023. And then we have Samsung going on in Taylor, but their plan has been delayed a little bit. It's supposed to open by October this year, but it's going to be delayed to next year. So with that, the supply of job from Samsung has not been counted yet. Plus, when Samsung opened next year, we're going to have a business park that's going to open next to Samsung that's going to bring a lot more Samsung supplier to Taylor and Hurdle area. And that not has been counted into the chart. This chart I put together right here is just some of the jobs that already been penciled out and been publicly announced. And you can see from that, at least we secure almost like 3,000 jobs by the end of this year. So it's gonna go back a little bit to like what is mean for the Austin future. Like I say, Austin right now, we see some of the slowing down in activity and transaction, but it's still very resilient. Any housing around $300,000-$400,000 still moving. It's a little bit slower than last year, but it's still moving. And right now, with the recent economic data show that the probability for Central Texas to be in recession is almost slowed down to like low to like 5%. So it's like really missing the chance of we getting into recession. And this is the one I mentioned about Austin Opportunity 5.4. This is a strategic planning that all of the EDC, economic development from all of the big city and the Texas state put together. So in the next 5 years, we would like to attract more international corporation. We in the talk with one of the Chinese EV battery manufacturer. They're gonna put in Manor, and also we in the we have some other company that they slowly want to relocate and build like the manufacturing here in Austin. So in the next 5 years, we would like to attract more international corporation that targeting the semiconductor, the EV battery, and also the life science. And the next one, talk about the property tax relief bill. This has been on the news for almost like really the headline of every news for almost few months right now. So recently, the governors and the Senate has passed the bill that they call property tax bill relief that's gonna help to cool down a little bit with the property tax, which is one of the biggest issue right now for Austin and also some of the big city with significantly increase in value. So most of the property tax, they focus on school tax and homestead exemption, which is for primary resident. But this is something that we try, that is something that catch our attention, which is the appraisal cap for investment property. So right now, the state try to test 3 years until 2026 to limit the increase of appraisal value no more than 20% for investment home, for any investment under $5 million. So this is a lot of our client property fall into this category. But it's not really go into effective yet until the voter had to vote for November. There's still a lot of guidance that needed for this property tax relief, but this is two things I want to point out. Photo owns is increasing in property tax. So if our property increase in 2021 and 22, basically it doesn't really fall under protection of this property tax. This property tax relief only protect any property that has more than 20% increase in 2023. And if it's been voted and passed by November this year, your tax bill gonna be adjusted. And because usually we don't pay tax until January 31st of following years. So if it's being adjusted, it's gonna reflect in your January tax bill for the year of 2023. Now, a lot of people ask me the question about how about the value of the property going down? So the appraisal district look into the property value as up January of every year. So the tax bill that you receive for this year is basically the value that they look at your property as up January of 2023. And when they look into January of 2023, they use all of the high data from 22 to come up with the value for 23. Now, in 2024, the value definitely going to be adjusted because the market is slowing down. A lot of value has been dropped during 2023. So by January of 2024, there's another separate thing outside of the tax bill, which is all of the appraisal district, they have to reassess and revalue your property by January of 2024 for the tax bill of 2024. And we can have actually different conversation about that because everyone now expected the property tax to be dropped by 2024, which has helped us a little bit on the rental income. Yes, and I think that would be it for my presentation. And I'm open for questions.
So we encourage the attendee to type in your question for Penny, and we can read it out to her and address it. So personally, I also have some questions. And yes, I understand that there is the special 5.0 strategy to boost the jobs and all the employment in Austin or Central Texas. How's it going? Overall, are there a lot of people relocating to Austin? And what is the general economic condition?
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you, Monica. So I would say the Opportunities 5.0 has just been launched in September of this year. They've been working on that for almost a year. And by December of last year, they kind of taking public opinions and see how they're gonna allocate the funds and everything to other city. And they're just launching September of this year. So with this economy, again, they would try to give some incentive for the big tech company to go in. The city tried to get another company moving to Lockhart the state tried to get another company moving to Lockhart because we lost Micron chief to New York for sure, but then we may have another one moving to Lockhart. We just don't know who. And on the other side, on the Taylor, all of the EDC from Taylor Hurdle, they would try to wait for the Samsung to open, and then they're going to give out more incentive to the Samsung suppliers. So basically right now, most of they try to focus on the corridor between Hurdle, Taylor, Manor, and down to Tesla. So all of that is going to be the major logistic later on for the semiconductor and an EV battery. It's going to always go back to the same tool that they used before, which is give out incentive, give out some of the tech credit, and also kind of provide the supplier with a little bit on we say right now we have suppliers from Samsung that going on Taylor, but people don't really have any housing to stay in Taylor. So they try to work with the city hurdle and try to find some of like the temp house for the worker to work in Taylor for the construction, like between Taylor and then hurdle and Taylor for the construction.
Yes, yeah. I personally had visited Taylor last year, end of last year. So I think there's still a lot of infrastructure waiting to be put in. So but
Yes.
the potential is very good there. And
Yes.
Texas has passed a law that kind of limiting overseas investor like China or Cuba or Russia, like how would it be impacting the investment situation, like in Austin?
So that is I would try not to touch on the political sides of that questions because we still see a lot of deals going on with our client from China. So basically, yes, basically that is something really up in the air right now because it's not really like 100% has been implemented yet. We still see deals that going on. Like I say, we have a Chinese company that they want to do the EV battery here in Austin MSA, and I saw it's still going on. They're still going on negotiation with the city. So those thing is not really doesn't really have any work right now on ongoing with like Texas and Austin in general. And we also have launched, I think like Austin, they launched with Raider Asian Chamber of Commerce in Austin and try to get more international company going in, including Taiwan, China. I'm not sure about North Korea and Russia, but I know for thing between China and Texas is still going, is still doing.
That's good to know. We have a number of clients, of course, holding houses in the Austin area. And some of them mentioned to me about the insurance rate increase. But of course, in California, we have also insurance rate hike because of the wildfires. And how is the general trend on insurance premium in Central Texas now?
So that is actually one of the issue that we've been seeing so far for this year. Like a lot of our clients receive a notification about the possibly rate increase for next year, because with all of the with all of the fire, all of natural disaster we had, and about like almost 75% of the insurance company went on bankruptcy. So right now we only have a very tiny amount of insurance provider that carry the entire insurance industry. So for Tesla, they still provide the new policy to the new property owner. But the problem with that is like they have to increase the premiums to cover for all of the risk, because some of the zip code in Texas also has a high risk. We have like the winter storm in 21, we have like fire recently, and we have tornadoes and hailstorm. So increasing in insurance is something that we cannot avoid, but they also try to give us some of the way to reduce the premium when the increasing happen. Like maybe we can buy as a group together, or we can group with our auto insurance, or try to like get some more feature in our property, like security system or something, to reduce the risk premium.
Yes. So yeah, I think it's good suggestion to try to shop all different insurance policy together to get some group discount.
Yes.
And yes. So I saw that on your presentation, it shows that the net delivery may not be able to meet demand by 2027. So how do they forecast, in terms of like a supply of more housing and inventory, like seems to be kind of like diminishing. So right now, of course, the supply is quite a bit, in 2023 and 24. So how do they forecast that the supply of housing would kind of not being able to meet the demand in a few years?
So the reason why they forecast, because they base on the state of the permits from the cities. And so the city of Austin and also other city like Georgetown, Round Rock, I know people don't believe that, but they are so lack of manpower on the permitting. Even though like the city of Georgetown or county up there, they only have like one reviewer for permit. So that's why they only accept applications once a month. So they track based on how quick and how fast they'll permit. Like, for last year, they issue like 100 permits together. And they post it for a while to process other thing, and then they're gonna issue another thing. So it's not like permit has been issued regularly in Austin. It's go by patch. So that's why they forecast, like right now, some people that they have the permits last year, they start to do construction and groundbreaking. But right now, the city actually back up and try to solve a lot of applications from 2022. So by the end of 2024, they may able to solve all of the application of this year. That's why, and then we can see the construction not going to start until like the permit has been approved or given out. So that's why the construction going to pause a little bit. That's why it's like it pacing out the construction. So this is also another thing. They say that if the permit hold off the construction, is gonna generate a little bit unhealthy market for the supply and demand, because sometimes you have like significant demand and sometimes you have like surplus of supply. So that is something the city, all of the city try to work with each other right now to improve the effectiveness on that.
Got it. So apart from, of course, having the opportunity 5.0 to create more jobs, do you see also influx from residents from other state like California? I know many of my clients actually, they relocate. Some of them move to Nevada, some of them to Florida, some of them actually go to Texas because there's no state income tax. So do you see not just like maybe workers, but also maybe other people who are looking for retiring in a state that would have no state income tax? Do you see a big number in the Central Texas area?
Yes, so I do see people relocating here in Austin for retirement, but not in Austin city limit. They kind of like stay in Round Rock and Manor. Because of the housing price over there is actually makes more sense. And also like for retirement, they over 65 homestead exemption over there is actually, I mean, the county homestead exemption is across the counties, but with the low property value, the homestead exemption gonna save them more on the property tax compared to the city Austin limit, because everything right now in city Austin limit with city zip code is still really, really high. And now, when you talk about the influx of people, we have a period that people think they can work from home. So that's why they move away from Austin, given the fact that they can work from home. But right now, Google start to ask people to go back to the office. Amazon also asks people to go back to the office, and Amazon also, so Amazon signed a lease for the office building in Domain 2 years ago, and they still don't know what to do with the lease. But recently, I think like 2 weeks ago, they announced that they start to build out on that lease. So they're not backing out. They're gonna build on that building. They're gonna build on that office. And then by next quarter of 2024, that building gonna be completed. And then they're gonna ask all of the workers to move back to office and work. So we will see now more and more people actually, they have to move back to Austin, or they stop putting their house for sale because they think they have to stay in Austin to work in this office. So we see the majority of the tech right now, even Indeed, Amazon, they try to get people back to the office for working. So that's gonna draw more people back to Austin again.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, I think that also we see similar phenomenon in the Bay Area. People are moving back closer to the work area. So the housing demand pattern has shifted a bit. So we do have a question from one of the attendees. Any area with rent control around Austin area?
No, we don't have that.
You don't have rent control?
Yeah, we don't have the rent control.
Texas, especially in Austin.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have apartment that go under 60 section 42, which is like you have to use the government money to build an apartment, and then they're gonna apply the rent control. But for private property or something, the rent control doesn't apply to any of our rental or private property.
Yes. Yes. That's good to know, because in California we have many different type of rent control, but not so much for single homes yet. So mainly for like say 2 units and above, and it depends on which city. And so right now, you know, with the property tax hike and also possibly the insurance premium hike, so we actually seen quite a strong trend of rent increase. But of course, you know, it depends on the affordability factor. So do you foresee that the rent will continue to kind of go up steadily, even though I know that you mentioned about the apartment competition in terms they have more numbers. But I think for the apartment, are they more close to the metropolitan area also? Yeah, you mentioned about suburban area, but is it evenly distributed?
So right now, most of the apartment, because sort of on getting into the land and build apartment in central area getting more expensive. So during the past 2 years, the developer bought land outside in the suburb area and they try to build apartment over there. So we expect to see more apartment gonna go up in the suburb area. Which gonna create a little bit competitions for the single family home. And also on the potential to increase the rent. Right now, I see the rent kind of like finding a point that they actually stop right there. Yeah, I don't really see some potential to increase the rent in the next 6 months or 8 months. Yes.
Yeah. So when I visited last year, end of last year, I saw a lot of infrastructure plan, you know, being in place. You know, like when we acquired homes in Leander, it was only maybe a 2-lane road. And then after that, you know, the downtown was more developed and they're trying to have like 4 to 6 lane expressway or highway being built. So overall, I think is that the infrastructure in Austin has been really developing at a very fast rate.
Yes. So beside the Southwest, which is like on the, if you see the Southwest basically is like another very difficult issue that nobody can really touch on that. But if you look into the north and the south, like along I-35, 130, and 183, a lot of construction and road expansion has been approved from Mobility Bond 2016. And the TxDOT, county, and city actively working on that because we have significant amount of cars and people moving into Austin. That's why it's actually put a lot of pressure on the current infrastructure. So like you say, most of the land right now is in the subdivisions. The builder have been forced to enlarge the land first before they actually do the side lot or side improvement.
Yeah. So we have like a comment from one of the attendees saying that they've been seeing rent kind of flat or drooping a little bit in Leander, and also some of the single family homes have been sitting on the Zillow for rent for weeks. Do you think pretty much is there's oversupply of rental housing and just many people are trying to take advantage to buy, or what is the general situation?
Yeah, like I say back earlier, I don't see any rent potential gonna be increased in the next 6 months or 8 months because like the rental market right now kind of like a little bit flat. And some apartment building they start to do pre-leasings. And also, like I say, some of the area in, for example, Leander and Hurdle. But then people like a year ago, we can see that people were like, okay, the property price is so high, the interest rate is so high. So I'm just gonna rent the property and wait how the market reacts. And right now they actually come out from the nest and they were like, okay, I'm used to this interest rate. And also the builder helping me a little bit on that. So I can get a new home for $400,000 with 6% interest rate. So they stop leasing and they try to get into buying something because right now they feel like, okay, they will never go back to 4% interest rate anymore. 6% is something they can live with. Yeah, that's why we see quite some of the renter, they return the property, they don't want to renew the lease, and they're moving into house, like purchasing a house right now.
Yeah, so that would reduce the number of renters out there. And
Yes.
like say, in where we are, we see utility costs has been going up, like both in water and also electricity and gas. How about in Texas? The utility rate, has it been pretty stable? Especially for
So
single home.
yeah, so there's a two things that I want to talk to that. First of all is the water. Water has been an issue and will be an issue for all of the Austin and Round Rock MSA. But for existing single family home that you already lock in the contract with the water supplier, you should be fine. Only for the new home or something, they may have a problem to looking for the water sources. So for any new MUD district, MUD district for the new subdivision, they expect to collect more on the fee, the annual fee for using the water from the MUD district. Now, for electricity, if you actually use electricity directly from the city, for example, the city of Austin or something, it will increase, but it's only increase a little bit because the city have the fund to help out with that utility cost or increase. But if you are in some area that you actually buy from the marketplace, we call marketplace because there is a marketplace called Power to Choose, and there's a lot of power providers that sell the electricity to you in that area. You can see the cost kind of like fluctuated because some of them from Houston, some of them from Dallas, they kind of like trying to tap into this market and do and try to sell utility during the marketplace. So that area, you can see the increasing in that area, but it doesn't mean that entire other city increasing. It's just because of the providers. But yeah, but also we have some significant issue in the past few months because we didn't have any rain, so our water level actually go down a little bit, which is incur some of the extra fee from the utility provider in your July and August bills. Hopefully it's going to go away in September and October because we start to have rain today.
Oh, you start to have, oh, that's good news.
Yes,
Because we
yes.
read from the news that like it's been really dry.
It's
And
really,
I think the
dry.
climate change is affecting everybody, you know, not just in US, but even around the world. Yeah, so yeah. it's
But the
good to
cost
get
of
that.
utility is also one of the things that the state of Texas they want to address in this November as well. Because right now they want to make sure even though if a consumer buy from the marketplace, they still gonna pay some fair price.
Yes, yes. Because the cost of living is not going to be low based on like all the property tax situation, the housing cost, utility and insurance, you know, like living in a city, a modern city or a tax city like Austin, the cost is going to be continued to be high. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, well, this is very helpful, you know, Penny, thank you very much for putting together such a good presentation that can allow us to understand more about the status and situation of the market in Austin. So we encourage, if you are an attendee, you have any question, or if you're thinking about like say, discuss with Penny about, yeah, the wealth, the value of your home, or you're thinking about acquisition, yeah, please feel free to reach out to me and then I can connect you to Penny. And definitely, I think Austin, being that they are the home of the new semiconductor plant for Samsung, and also Tesla is building such a big factory, I think the potential for expansion is going to be very high. And I did have a question about the recording. In fact, you know, I have sent out a note that we're going to share the recording and the copy of the presentation to all the registered attendees, you know, with Penny's permission. So reach out to me and then we can get you connected if you have further question and would like to discuss more about Austin. Okay. Any other thing you want to add, Penny?
No, I mean, thank you so much for all of the great questions and the opportunity to present here today. So if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know, and I'm happy to get on your question and answer.
Wonderful. Thanks everyone for attending the Zoom event today. And like I said, we will try to get out the recording and presentation to you in a timely manner. Thank you.